Hello again, and welcome to the Corner Studio here in my garage. And I see from our high-tech teleprompter, which I typically hold up at the start of the program, it is indeed time for another episode of Friday Evening Camera Talk. This one is number 128. We have now, with this program, lasted longer than just a lot of the TV series that I grew up with. We're way past the amount of Brady Bunch episodes that were ever filmed. The show keeps going, but you will notice I took a holiday this past week. I didn't produce a program, so there it is. 128 episodes over about 3 years. You can see now and again I do something else in between, and it's not a strictly weekly program is what we all understand here. I am filming tonight with the Nikon Z5II and the 28-400 lens, which you know in the studio here is not our custom. We usually have the Z9 out with the 24-120. I've already proven, at least to myself, the metal of the Z5II. I'm filming out here with it just to have access to that flip screen. I want to see, while I'm filming here in the studio, if being able to turn that screen around and see the little red rectangle in the distance there, if it's useful or not to me, because it's a mystery sometimes with the Z9. You know you've pushed the button, you know the camera's on the tripod in front of me where I'm pointing. You come around and you sit down and you're talking, and then you go back over, and once in a great while it's like a mysterious thing has happened. The camera's not filming, and either you know, it's a low probability that there's some kind of glitch with the camera. It's almost always user error, but at least I can see with the flip screen whether I'm actually producing content or just talking to myself. This is the Rode Wireless Pro microphone that I introduced, geez, I don't know, I was trying to think, a few episodes ago. I bought these. They were kind of expensive. The price tier is much higher than the Ceramonics that I've used for several years. And I've been playing with this mic set, and today I installed the lav mic. I left this out rather than, you know, running the lav mic up and just putting it somewhere unobtrusive. I wanted you to kind of see the setup, and I think the sound is better with the Rode Wireless Pro here than I was getting out of my Ceramonics, at least to my ear. And you know, people who know me say, well, you're half deaf, so what do you know about audio? But anyway, I'm pleased with that. Now, the price point, that's something to swallow. They cost a bit more than what I've been using in the past, but I tucked the Ceramonics away, and I have other uses for them. I might start actually, when I go out in the field, if I'm shooting a scene, I might take one of the Ceramonics, and instead of using the you know, the V-mic mini shotgun mic, I might stroll over to where I'm planning to shoot and just clip one to like a bush or something and then step back. And I could start using them that way, putting them at a little more risk, and just see if I get a better outcome for the show. I guess we ought to move this thing along a little bit. This is our centerpiece of the program tonight. That's the PowerShot G7x3, and this is the Canon V1, and these cameras they look kind of similar, but they're very different in what they do. I've been using these guys, getting familiar with them, taking them out in the field. I've made some notes on them, and what I'm going to do is set up the Z5II on the overhead and just shoot down onto the tabletop here, get a nice tight frame on them so you can see the cameras, and I'm going to walk through the features because I have good notes on them. And by the way, the G7X is not here on a higher tier than the V1. It just turned out that way. I just happened to set them there. I think these guys are equal in some ways and very much not equal in others. So we'll get to that here in a minute, and we'll take a quick break here and be right back. So I thought we'd take a kind of a close-up here of these guys just laid out side by side. And first thing is, this is almost 11 ounces. This one is 13 ounces. In my hand, I can't really tell the difference between the two weight-wise, but as you start looking at their overall size, this one is definitely bulkier, and it feels bulkier. It's got a built-in fan, so the G7X3 doesn't have a built-in fan. The V1 does. If you're shooting in a hot climate, it might be important. I have turned the fan off on mine because I don't anticipate needing it. Now, this one has a 1.4-inch sensor. That's important. I'm getting better output with this camera in general. This one has a 1-inch sensor. I think the brain on this camera is a faster and better brain. We've got a 16 to 50 35 millimeter equivalent 16 to 50 lens on this one. This is a 24 to 100 lens, so this lens will take you a lot farther out, and a lot of the shooting that I do, 50 just feels like you're kind of stopped at 50, and it doesn't quite feel like it takes you far enough. I suppose if you were walking around, you know, shooting an art fair with this type of camera, it's probably plenty for that, but I find myself when I take this out on photo jaunts, a lot of the time I'm at you know, 70, 80, 100. So for me, it's just my shooting style. This is more lens, and I feel like I need more lens sometimes. Both of these cameras will focus at about 2 inches. Canon says that this has no recording limits, and I have no reason to doubt them. I've only shot short videos with it. There's various limits on that one, and you'd need to do a deep dive to familiarize yourself with it. But so far, I shoot this camera here for maybe like 10 or 20 seconds, and then I'm done shooting it. To get anything out of this camera, shooting it for very long, my sense of it is it needs to be on a tripod, and you just need to get fixed for what you're doing. And due to the situation with the holes on them where the Arca plate needs to go to get them on a tripod, I've elected not to use this one on a tripod at all, and this one I will be putting the Arca plate on and just taking it off when I'm done using it on a tripod. But both of them have a 3-inch screen, but this one, it's a flip screen, and you can look at it while you're in the front of the camera. You can also, of course, turn that back and protect it if you want to carry it like that, you know, in your camera bag. This one is a hinge screen, so pretty much I'm showing you what it does there, and you can get some interesting and different angles out of that. And that's a photography-centric feature. If you know, if we're looking at that as a photographic camera, you don't, oh, and I forgot for the fact that it does flip up, so you could be in front of the camera and you can look at the screen while you're filming. But I look at hinge out screens, you know, like on the Z8 and the Z9 as being, you know, typically that's something they do to please photographers, whereas the flip out screens are more for the video crowd. But this one has a flash, but it's got no shoe to install anything. This one has no flash, but it does have a shoe on it. So we talked about this on a previous episode. I think this is for putting a flash in there. That's actually a hot shoe, but we can use it, of course, with like a shotgun mic or some other accessory possibly. Nice having a shoe on cameras. I kind of have already missed it on this one, but that's part of the, you know, the evolution of, since this one came into the house, trying to figure out what it is that it does well and just use it for that. Both have a mic jack. I like both of these cameras, and Canon, you know, they market this one as a video camera, and I have no reason to dispute that. It takes, I think, for the price point, it does better than its price point of about, right now on sale, about $850. This one is slightly more expensive. I think it was $879, and you got your mic jack here on this side with it. I like both of these cameras, and I think both of them have a place in the kit, just when I'm doing different things is all. anyhow, these guys have, they feel like they have kind of different ergonomics. This one, as you saw, I just grabbed it up. I can operate this camera with one hand. I've taken pictures and video of it just with one hand. Literally, well, I've got a dog leash in the other hand. Pull this out, either take a picture or video, and then turn it off, put it back in my pocket. It's that easy. You can just about say the same thing with this camera. It takes a little bit more, but it is still easily accomplished to use this camera with one hand. You have to think ahead with this camera of if you're going to do that with one hand, of flipping the screen out and setting it to either photo or video, depending on what you're going to be doing. But I find both of these cameras to be, you know, they're ergonomic and they're handy, and their size makes them useful. And I think I'm going to be increasing the workload for this camera, for the video side of this channel, the content that I do, different things. I think the Canon V1 will end up inevitably shooting more of it. I see this camera's role here, the G7X, as being more of kind of personal use. Just taking it out for photos. If the wife and I are going somewhere to run errands and go out to lunch or whatever, I might put this camera in my pocket in case we just happen to see something. But I'm pleased with both of these purchases, actually, and I think we're ready to head back to the main segment. So we just saw that segment. I put these two side by side. We were mostly looking at their features, not their output. Both of these have a place in the household now. If I'm walking out the door and I think that I might just want something to take pictures with mostly and have a little longer reach with the lens, it's going to be this camera here, and it's really truly pocketable. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments there. Both of these cameras, they feel like they got a different personality, and I've kind of set them up in a different swim lane. I am planning to start shooting some of the art content for the channel on this camera here because I think it's good enough to handle that. I wouldn't task this one with it though. Anyway, I think it's about time for us to get out of here. What I'm going to do is drop either a couple of photos or a couple of short clips at the end. The wife and I have been putting up a greenhouse down in the lower part of the property, and we've been putting quite a lot of work in on that. Even though it was a kit, it's just had a lot of facets of trying to get the thing set up and going, from the lot prep to the framing and all that. Anyway, I thought I'd let you see how that's gone. I may produce a longer video just on that, a standalone video. We're still thinking about it. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight, and we hope to see you again soon in another video. So till then, take care.